Hey guys, Billy Epphart here. First of all, I want to tell you I appreciate you watching the vlog. Thanks for tuning in and watching. Remember, you can see it on our website, billyepphart.com, or you can actually subscribe to the vlog and blogs, and we'll send it to you in an email. You'll have a link that'll go right here. So some people like that. Plus, if you subscribe to the blog, you get a copy of our free book called Finding Your Courage to Get Started. And so we want you to know we appreciate it. I appreciate you watching. So here's another question we've had from one of our readers to the blog vlog is, how do you recover from failure? Well, one of the things that and actually they put in there, mentally, not financially. So how do you recover from failure? Well, one of the things that I think is important is that anyone who does anything in life that's worthwhile must understand you're going to encounter failure. It means there's going to be something you do, in fact, probably several somethings that you do where, you know what, you're not going to be successful. In fact, you know, most of us have heard the illustration, for example, of Thomas Edison. You know, he did 9,999 experiments before on the 10,000th time he actually succeeded in creating the light bulb, for example. Well, let me tell you, that's true. In fact, I will say this. Even in the Christian world, a lot of times we don't like to really talk about failure in the sense of, you know, we think we've got to be perfect on everything we do. But the truth of the matter is, if you're going to go into business or you're going to do any kind of social impact enterprise, you're going to have seasons and times when you actually experience failure. Now, I like to call it noble failure. What that means is I'm failing forward. What that means is I look at my failure and I learn from it. I take the time to say, okay, what did I do here that really made me cause this to be a failure? Now, very frankly, there are times when you didn't really do anything directly to cause yourself to fail or the particular enterprise to fail. Sometimes it could have been something indirect. What do you mean by indirect? I mean, sometimes it was more of a sin of omission. It was something that you just happened to miss. You weren't thinking at the time. Sometimes, and that happens sometimes because of lack of knowledge. You just didn't have the wisdom or understanding. Back in my Money Mastery book, one of the very first things I talk about in God's laws of wealth is the law of wisdom. And it starts with getting specific knowledge about the area that you're going to go into. Secondly, you begin to practice that knowledge so you develop understanding. And then thirdly, that's where real wisdom begins to come from, because you apply it in your life. So it's the application of that knowledge. Also with failure, I think one of the things you have to understand is that as long as you're experiencing noble failure and you're failing forward, then sometimes there's stuff that other people do that you had no control over. But now here's what I want to encourage you with. Now, I'm encouraging you on this vlog, and that's this. Do not allow yourself, when someone else, let's say, for example, has contributed directly to the failure of your enterprise, not something you did, please do not develop a victim's mentality. A lot of people will develop a victim mentality in business, and it will paralyze them and prevent them from ever moving forward in any other kind of enterprise. So I encourage you, do not develop a victim mentality. What you must say, develop a victor mentality that, okay, I failed. This happened to me. Now, what can I learn from that? So you pick yourself up. I call it picking yourself up by your bootstraps, and you move on. So when it comes to failure, one of the first things you do is, number one, is you learn from it. Number two, I call it you recharacterize it. In other words, you look at the failure and you say, okay, yes, we made a mistake, or this happened, I accept it, but now I'm going to look at it as that learning experience. Don't allow it to create that victim mentality in you. And then thirdly, make a determination that I'm going to pick myself up, and I am determined to be persistent. I'm determined. I call it the steady drop of water on the rock. You just, you know, water, which obviously is not a hard substance, will actually wear a rock away. Over years of time, the steady drop of water on the rock will cause the rock literally to wear away. Well, that's what you do. You stay persistent and you learn from failure. You keep trying. You look for new mentors. You continue to excel. And at some point in time, you'll have success in your life and you'll see it. And remember, it's not about success. It's about making sense of making money, right? You apply yourself for making a difference. It's about having an impact in the world to help other people. Listen, I want you to know, some people say, how can I follow you? How can I get a hold of you? You can follow us on Facebook at Billy Epperhart. You can follow us on Instagram, also on Twitter. So we're all over the social media universe. Also, you can go to our website, BillyEpperhart.com, and there's all kind of vlogs on there. In addition to that, people have asked, well, how can I get more involved? And one of the things you do when you go to the website, you can click right on the Give Partner button if you want to help us in our endeavors in both of our nonprofits. We have two. One is called Tricord Global. You can tricordglobal.com, and our WealthBuilders, where we give the financial and educational information. So you can really help us, and we would appreciate you doing that. So thanks for watching. We'll see you later.